Well, hello, the fourth and fifth grade. Hey, today we've got a math lesson. This is out of the fourth grade book on page 567. And for you fifth graders, just following along what we're doing, it pretty much parallels what you're studying in your book. So I understand that you all are doing fairly well. So just let this be kind of a refresher, a little added information to help you. Today, we're looking at lesson 10.4. And 10.4 is dealing with classifying quadrilaterals. Quadrilateral. What's a quadrilateral? One of those geometry terms that gets a little bit convoluted because there's a lot of things that become quadrilaterals because quad. Now, when you think of a quad, out driving around on your quad, it's a four-wheeled recreational vehicle. Quadruplets would be like four kids. So quad, that means four. So a quadrilateral means an object with four sides. The sides are all known as laterals. So don't get confused. Sides and laterals mean the same thing in geometry. They use the term laterals, though, and that's the one you'll see most often. Now, there are several types of quadrilaterals, and different objects can have more than one description. And that's what this particular unit's all about. So looking at our list of quadrilaterals here, we'll start with a trapezoid. Now, it's important that you spend a little time looking at these objects and remembering what their definitions are. Because once you have that down pat, then this exercise becomes real easy. So we start with a trapezoid. A trapezoid is a quadrilateral. It has four sides, but only one pair of these sides are parallel. The other two sides are not parallel. So a trapezoid is defined by the fact that only one pair of the sides or the laterals are parallel. Now, a parallelogram. There's another term that makes up a quadrilateral. It has four sides, four laterals, but the difference is it has two pairs of sides that are parallel. This side is parallel to this side. This side is parallel to that side. And it has two pairs of equal length. Now don't get confused by that. The length of this side and this side are equal. The length of this side and this side are equal. They don't have to be the same length. If they were the same length, then they'd be down here. They'd be a square. Because all sides are equal in a square. So in a parallelogram, you have two sets of parallel sides. They can be different lengths, but they are parallel. Rhombus. I just like saying rhombus. I don't know why. A rhombus is like a square, except it's kind of tweaked a little bit. Here you have four sides, makes it a quadrilateral. And because both pairs of those sides are parallel, it's a parallelogram as well. But what makes the rhombus unique is the fact that each side is of an equal length. So all four sides have an equal length, like a square, but the angles are not 90-degree angles. So it can be any equal-sided object that does not have a 90-degree angle on its four corners. A rectangle. A rectangle, again, has 4 sides. And you'll notice that on a rectangle, every corner is 90 degrees. But what makes it different from a square is the fact that while both sets of sides are parallel, they do not have to be the same length. So this side and this side are a much smaller length than these 2 sides. But there are 2 pairs of parallel sides and 2 pairs that have an equal length. Finally, the square. The square is the simplest of all. It's 4 sides. All 4 sides are exactly the same length. And each corner is 90 degrees. Now, out of all of these images that you see here, these different shapes, there's only 2 objects that have 90-degree angles. The rest of them can have varying different degrees of angles. And those angles can be a combination of obtuse angles, greater than 90 degrees, or acute angles, less than 90 degrees. So, if we had to define these, a square is also a parallelogram. It's a quadrilateral, it's a square, it's a parallelogram. A rectangle is also a parallelogram, and it's a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides. So all of these shapes have 4 sides. If it has 5 sides, it's not a quadrilateral. What is a shape with 5 sides? Come on. Pentagon. So we're not looking at shapes with anything more than 4 sides because that's what a quadrilateral is. So as you look at this lesson and as you work through it, you're going to be asked to look at some different shapes. You're going to be asked to define whether it's a trapezoid, or whether it's a rectangle, whether it's a rhombus. But it's also going to ask you to classify it in other ways. They're all quadrilaterals, so you know that one right off the top. Some of them are parallelograms. A trapezoid is not a parallelogram. Trapezoid only has 1 pair of parallel sides. In order to be a parallelogram, it has to have 2 pairs of parallel sides. So, the parallelogram, the rhombus, the rectangle, the square, they're parallelograms. Looking ahead to the homework in this lesson, 4th graders, the homework is on page 571, and the first thing they ask you to do is to classify each one of those figures, each one of those shapes that you see there. And so, for example, number 1, it's a quadrilateral. It's also a trapezoid. It's also a parallelogram. And it's also a rhombus. So, don't be confused by the trapezoid, because a trapezoid has at least one set of parallel sides. So, when you're looking at this homework assignment, it's going to ask you to classify each one of those different shapes. I'm not going to give you any answers here. Problem number 7, it says, draw and label an example of each type of quadrilateral. So it's going to ask you to do just what I've done here. And I might point out to you that on page 567, where this lesson starts, they have a very good example of what that looks like right there. There are a couple of word problems. And let's just take a look at one of these. I'm looking at problem number 2. What quadrilateral has at least 1 pair of parallel sides but cannot be called a parallelogram? All right, so think about that now. What quadrilateral, what four-sided shape has at least one pair of parallel sides, but it's not a parallelogram? Now there's only one shape out of all of those shapes that is the correct answer for that problem. I'd give you the answer, but that doesn't do you any good. I want you to figure it out. So good luck with your homework. The homework's on page 571 and 572 for the fourth graders. Fifth graders, I'm not sure how far ahead you are on the geometry lesson here, but the next lesson we have is going to be about symmetry, about finding the line of symmetry, determining what objects are symmetric, which ones are not symmetric, and why it matters. So next lesson, look forward to that. Meanwhile, as always, stay safe, wash your hands, stay out of trouble, and we'll see you tomorrow.